reading today. It's part of my pain, actually. In the scriptures it says, in Corinthians somewhere it says, is there any benefit to being a Jew? And the answer is yeah, there is a benefit to being a Jew, because the writings of the Jew carries the oracles of God. And, you've got to do your research. I mean, right now you can get information, levels of information from anywhere. Dead Sea Scrolls prove that the Old Testament hasn't been changed. 200 to 300 predictions point to Jesus of Nazareth. He was mobbed because he had supernatural powers. He could heal entire towns filled with people. The powers that he gave out were consistently first against troubling spirits, then for physical healing, then for the ability to speak truthfully about the spirit realm and the highest spirit and the afterlife. So power against spirits, healing power, and truth power about, the ability to speak truly about the God spirit. And then the icing on the cake was the surprise language that came on the day of Pentecost to ordinary people. To us, to all of us. This is an ordinary thing. The surprise language, the prayer and singing in the Spirit. These things are normal things. These are gifts from an actual spirit to help our souls, minds, and emotions revive. So there is a benefit to being a Jew, an Israel lineage person, because of the training of the children in the things of the Israelish people that had that bizarre event happen over them. Selected out of the tribes of the earth to be made an example of. No, if you're in Yeshua and in the way, there's no current justification for dropping bombs or killing people to protect one physical lineage of peoples on this earth. There's a call to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and there is truly stuff that will happen around the physical Israel in the end times of the cosmos. But it's not our job to stand up and kill people because they're opposing one group of people or another group of people. So here's the understanding that I came to today. I was raised in this Bible stuff, in this church stuff, in this Jesus stuff. And even though the information that was shared with me was really deficient in the environment of proofs, in the environment of the supernatural being shown present in the peoples, it was deficient in the environment of adults talking about their heart sins in family setting, like in the Havirah, the sending of the family sins yearly to the temple, lack of confession and honesty. That's what the whole Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5, is all about. Matthew 5 is like the brand new Jesus commandments. Read Matthew 5 over and over again. Take notes on it. Like, it is the judgment, the evaluation of the heart. It matters less. It's the heightening, it's the tweaking up of the judgment toward what's going on in your heart now in the season where we get the actual supernatural powers of Jesus. So anyhow, I grew up in this Bible stuff. And, what am I going to do? I grew up in this stuff. I knew the layers of the stories. I heard some of the miracle stories, maybe little touches of them. But essentially I was taught by teachers who treated the Bible stuff as if it was a bunch of fairy tales. It was told to me in the same tone as you would read a fairy tale book. But I was saturated in this stuff. And then I was split away from it for a long season of time. I had a father who was a child psychologist guy, and And then I get a reintroduction, and then I become aware of the first power that Jesus gives out is discerning and in dealing with spirits. And that is one form, one portion of dealing with behavior. Because behavior is taught by the scriptures as being three levels: the personal choice, the influence of the ones around you and the environment around you that you can change. You can get out of certain situations and place yourself into safer situations, like that kind of stuff. But also there is the influence of actual spirits that can follow you from place to place, and using the name of Yehoshua or Jesus in Jesus' name brings results. The first time I ever followed someone talking to me, when I woke up in the morning with panic attacks and just said, "You spirits that make me feel like garbage in the morning, get out of here in Jesus' name." And I hadn't had panic attacks for a couple of weeks, and I remember what the guy said. I tried to say it, just like he said, you don't have to be all fancy about it. Just describe how you feel and discern that maybe there are invisible beings around me that are pushing these thoughts and feelings onto me, and it's not just me. You know, it's not my panic attacks. It's not my fibromyalgia. You know, it's like this is a fibromyalgia affliction, and whatever spirits might be bringing this in, may it go away. I don't struggle with the fibromyalgia thing. I was just reading about that. So like, and there's a thing in Solomon's writing that says, with much understanding, there also comes much sorrow. Okay, so like, I got into this church stuff, and I started getting used to standing around people that were carrying the program, but were like completely ignoring like one environment that they didn't want to deal with, or this situation over here, or this responsibility of their gender, or their position as elder, or position as younger. And for 20 years, I've been traveling around in the midst of people that are holding a lot of the program, but are acting like the freaking emperor's, the emperor's new clothes. Like, they're just refusing to look at something that's absolutely groundbreakingly obvious to like many other people that will look on the situation. There's something wrong here. And that has bred in me a willingness to not follow the precepts that I believe in. Okay? And it's my responsibility to share with peoples from the foundation of the understanding of the scriptures and all of these years of singing complex hymns that have this beautiful imagery in it. Beautiful, complex imagery in it. I mean, that's where I get the music and the poetry and the tongues flowing out. As a child, I sang hymn after hymn after hymn after hymn after hymn. And these hymns are not ugly, stuffy things, man. When you read these lyrics, they're spectacular. I wasn't planning on doing this, but watch what happens here. We plow the fields, and we scatter the good seed on the land. But that good seed is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. We're not really running the show. That's what it's saying. And it's such a nice image. We plow the fields and scatter the good seed on the land, but it is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. He sends the snow in winter and warmth to swell the grain, the breezes and the sunshine, and soft refreshing rain. All good gifts around us are sent from heaven above. Then thank the Lord, thank the Lord for all his love. He only is the maker of all things, near and far. He paints the wayside flower.
The wayside flower. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I sang day after day, month after month, year after year as a child. This is